Hello and welcome to our season finale of Seahawk Central. I'm Emma Tillman with news.
And I'm Davis Bell with sports. On deck today, we'll talk about the track and field and tennis seasons, plus a softball update.
And a soon-to-be-released updated version of Dietary Guidelines for Americans and coverage on student media's annual award ceremony up next. Last Sunday, the 26th Annual Student Media Awards took place, led by Bill Denome, UNCW Student Media Coordinator and this year's advisor. Students from TealTV, the Seahawk, Flickr Film Society, and Atlantis gathered on the second floor of Fisher for dinner and a show, celebrating a year of achievements. I served as this year's host and introduced our keynote speaker, Ashley Summerell, who reminded us that we've all got something to carry into our careers post-grad. Denome and Student Media Board Chair Jess Bradley handed out 12 awards, judged by a panel of 8. Outstanding Rookie went to Flickr's Devin Kapoor, Breaking News Photography and Feature Photography to Samantha Hill of the Seahawk. Digital Editing went to Flickr's post-production team for their film Dead Weight, and the Innovation Award to TealTV's Nice Try producers. Reporting and Opinion Awards were taken home by Addison Lowry of the Seahawk, and Noah Phillips, another writer for the Seahawk, won an award for his reviews. Videography was awarded to Jack Knight, director of Dead Weight, and the Leadership Award went to myself. And the highest honor, Media Student of the Year, was awarded to Ruby Schweitzer, president of Flickr. Here's Schweitzer reflecting on Flickr.
I really loved it, and it's like one of the biggest highlights of being in college for me has just been being in this club. So
when Schweitzer joined Flickr, she never thought she'd become president.
And we have a lot of people who show up for the first time and like don't know anyone at all, which that was me at one point. And I know it's really difficult to join a new organization like that. So just knowing that we have like a place where people can show up and meet others and work on projects and be creative is really cool.
To all nominees and winners, congratulations. Now, Kinsey Woodard is going to tell us about new and upcoming dietary guidelines. Kinsey?
In just a few short months, the Departments of Agriculture and Health and Human Services will release an updated version of the Dietary Guidelines for Americans. Every 5 years, these guidelines are updated based largely off of data on population-wide development of chronic diseases and the What We Eat in America survey, which contains over 50,000 subjects. Ahead of the publication, I had the chance to sit down with UNCW campus dietitian Chelsea Stant to discuss what we can expect to see in this report and how we can apply that information to our everyday lives as college students.
Talking about how when we look at the data from the last set 5 years ago and the data that we're looking at now, it still shows most Americans are not eating enough fruit, they're not eating enough vegetables, they're not eating enough whole grains, and they're eating a little bit too much of the meat and the more processed foods and the refined grains and that kinds of stuff, like compared to what the average human being should eating. That's where we kind of stack up.
As much as the USDA and DHHS focus on nutrition, that's not the only factor that's considered. The effects of the average American's diet on the environment is also being evaluated.
And so hopefully in the next round of dietary guidelines, once everything goes through all the steps that gets approved by all the people, we'll see an increased emphasis on more like beans and lentils and peas and more plant sources of protein. And I think that also shines a really good example on like, we have to think sustainably, right? I talk about the nutrition of the human body, but how we are eating as a population, how that's affecting the planet, plays into this as well. So
as for what we can do to maintain a healthy diet, even in the ups and downs of finals, Stant recommends cooking at home instead of eating out, choosing a wide variety of foods, and largely sticking to whole foods as opposed to ultra-processed options. Back to you, Emma.
Thank you, Kinsey. It's high time I start taking into account my nutrition, as I hear this age is our prime. Moving on to sports, let's hear it, Davis.
Thanks, Emma. Kicking off sports today, some congratulations are in order as the UNCW club rugby team became the 2025 Men's Division II National Champions after defeating 4th seed Montana State in the championship. Congrats, boys, on adding another trophy to that Teal Nation trophy case. Now let's throw things over to Taylor with track and field.
Thanks,
Davis. The UNCW track and field team has been busy this month. At the beginning of the month, the men's team competed in the Duke Invitational Meet and had 4 top 10 finishes. On April 15th, Miles Higgins and Jordan Robbins were named CAA Field Athletes of the Week. Then on April 19th, Cameron Wright set a UNCW record in the 100-meter dash with a time of 10.34 seconds. The following week, he was named CAA Co-Track Athlete of the Week. Follow the Seahawks as they end their spring season on May 1st through 3rd at the East Coast Relays in Florida, and for the CAA Championships on May 14th and 15th in Greensboro, North Carolina. Good luck, Seahawks. Next, on to Marie with softball.
Thanks, Taylor. The UNCW softball team has been busy as their season comes to an end. We have a lot of game to cover, but first, let's look back to 2 weeks ago when the Lady Seahawks hosted the UNC Tar Heels and the Stony Brook Seawolves. The week got off to a rocky start when the Tar Heels took a quick trip to Bozeman Field on April 15th and swept mercied the Seahawks with a score of 5-0. 3 days later, the Seawolves defeated the Seahawks with a score of 4-1. UNCW pitcher Michaela Huddleston matched her career high with 7 strikeouts over 7 innings, and they got 6 hits. April 19th was a much closer game, but the Seahawks fell short with a score of 2-1. Both the Seahawks and Seawolves made 9 hits. Finally, the Seahawks ended the weekend on a high note on Easter Sunday when they beat the Seawolves 5-2 and broke their 13-game CAA winning streak. This past weekend, the Lady Seahawks traveled to Elon for their season's final away series. On Friday, the Hawks fell to the Phoenixes in 5 hard-fought innings with a score of 9-1. They bounced back on Saturday and won 5-4. Madison Biddle was a key player with 3 hits, 2 RBIs, and 1 run, and Michaela Huddleston only allowed 1 hit after the first inning. Maggie Purdy also had 2 RBIs leading the team. Finally, the Lady Seahawks fell short on Sunday and lost with a score of 2-1. Tune in this weekend as the Seahawks celebrate their 7 graduating seniors. Be sure to come out and support. Now on to Grace with tennis.
Thanks, Marie. A brief recap of men and women's tennis does not compare to their success this spring season. Heading back to early April, the men's tennis team had 7 straight victories in a row. That win came from beating Presbyterian after a delay for rain in the regular season finale at the Templeton Center tennis courts. Other good news for the boys, they joined the Intercollegiate Tennis Association's national rankings at number 71. More success for the team comes from an individual athlete, Sam Nicholson, a senior who entered the ITA's national rankings. Congratulations, Sam. Just recently, the boys earned the top seed for the CAA tournament. The men are searching for their 5th straight CAA title. Good luck, boys. Moving right along to the Lady Hawks. The women's tennis team was also on a winning streak earlier this month, a victory against Longwood University during senior day at home for the girls during some non-conference play. Last week, the girls earned their 4th straight win in a regular season finale versus Hampton in the CAA game away Friday, April 18th. Finally, the girls earned the 5th seed in the Coastal Athletic Conference. Way to go, girls. They look forward to trying to secure a championship coming up soon. Now back to Davis and Emma.
Thanks, Marie. Well, that's all for sports today. For sports coverage over summer break, be sure to follow us on Instagram at SeahawksCentralSports_UNCW and keep an eye on TealTV's YouTube for bonus interviews and content.
And email any story ideas to SeahawksCentralNews@gmail.com. As we said, this is our semester finale, so thank you to our Seahawks Central News senior reporter, Kinsey Woodard, and thank you for all you've done for us over the years.
And also thank you to our Seahawks Central Sports seniors, Grace and Taylor Edrington, who have been with us for the past 2 years, giving top-shelf sports coverage every week. Congratulations and good luck in whatever comes next for y'all. However, those aren't the only seniors on our team. Sadly, we are losing our very own Emma Tillman. Emma, thank you so much for everything you've done for Seahawks Central News and TealTV. It's an honor to share this desk with you, and I look forward to see what's happening in your career.
Well, thank you, Davis, and thank you to every one of our viewers. Without you, none of this would be possible. So for the very last time, this is Seahawks Central. I'm Emma Tillman with news.
And I'm Davis Bell with sports. Have a good summer, and we'll see you in September. You're free.
I know.